Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for two more episodes of Mushishi. That'd be episodes 16 and 17 of course. Excited to be here once again. We're going to try to just jump right in here because once again no YouTube comments. Once again kind of Mushishi is a very hard show to set up in the same way that you would set up something a little bit more serialized. So I mean, let's shout out the Patreon and jump right in. Once again, I have a Patreon. Once again, it's linked in the description below. If you would like to see next week's episodes 1 week early, they're available there for you to do so if that interests you. Many people have, such as Mickey Babbers, AJ, Akamancer, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Capella, Chobaribi, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yako Yavnen, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Miru, Minted, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nailu, Parnek, Pencil Shop 333, Ronlad BNK, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Kelvin, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, and Aidan O'Brien. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And yeah, I mean, can I even set up anything? I don't think I can. Ginkgo's going to be here and we're going to be doing some Mushi stuff. Look forward to it. Let's jump in here to episode 16. Let's go. Rightio, I have episode 16 of Mushi-Shi up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 38 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the psych version, so get that version off of Nya or any other place. If you would like to share versions. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm recording, which is always fun. Huh, this is different. Hang on. Brain different. Help. Obviously the song is the same, but I swear to God it's a little bit brighter normally. Like the colors are different or something. Obviously, again, it's very hard to tell because it normally is just foliage as well, but this feels not the same. Anyway, I don't think it's of any great consequence. I should make a video, and it's just this song, but it's just like people like dancing to obviously not this song. I feel like that would be funny. That'd make a funny video. I would chuckle at that. Like just somebody hitting some crazy shit to the Bare Feet song, whatever the shit's called. That'd be funny. Alright, what have we got? Flowers. Petals falling. Shadows encroaching. Indeed. Continuing up the shoulder. Now don't go in the ear now. That probably bodes poorly. Oh, it's like a shadow. Ah, I see, the sunrise serpent. Okay, yeah, you'd imagine that's the titular Mushi. Let me crank it up a little bit. We're just chilling. Oh, I'm sure you'll manage. Thank you, translation note. Now that's a little bit more, yeah, bad. You dog. Ooh, hang on. Good. But yeah, you. Do you know anything? Yeah, maybe he does. About the insomnia. So somebody that is both forgetful and can't sleep at night. Tadaima. What the fuck? What is it? It's just a crab. This is a bit more charming than I thought it was going to be. Because again, when you're bringing up something with like people forgetting things, it could maybe be read as like a dementia type thing, which is less of a laughing matter, obviously. Okay, suspicious. No. Well, that's the worst memory to lose. And again, when these inconsistencies start to add up, you're like, huh, something's off here. Interesting. It's just the sneeze. Now this one's a bit more real. Ooh. Yeah, I don't like this. It is progressing, yes. That's the other thing you notice from it. Stays up day and night working. Probably what we saw in the intro. Are you listening in at all, or...? Can't you write it down? I just told you. What did it what? I'd say it's a waste of food. Nah, he seems pretty chill about it. Well, I mean, not in front of the guests. Come on now. Awkward. Well, yeah. In an ideal world. Well, yeah. Yeah, tell me your side. That'd be interesting. Well, that's intriguing because... He seemed pretty sure about what Mushi it was on the boat there before. Forgetting that you've forgotten is very frightening, actually. You've just become a different person at that point. Ooh, is there some correlation? I don't, but it's not for me, really. Well, that husband is probably next, right? Well, okay, then that must be the case then. What was that? Oh, okay. It's like a loom or something, is it? Hmm. 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 Yes, very poetic and stuff, but where's my content, damn it? Oh, hang on. Having a little kip. Oh, the shadow. Oh, that's creepy. I don't like that at all. Oh, you can't see? There it goes. The sunrise serpent itself. Why didn't you say that? Anyway. Kage-dama. Mm-hmm. That's terrible, man. Can we stop it? Oh, it's got like a reproductive cycle, does it? Yeah. That's a bit weird. Never really thought about Mushi reproducing. Maybe they've gone into it in the past. Oh, there's nothing that can be done. You could try. That's terrifying. It's like random chance. Hang on. Is it that intelligent? Yeah, what's the... So keep making more memories? Okay. What do you mean, maybe? Yeah, I agree. Seems ambitious. Sure. I'll go along, Mum. Why not? Where are we? Huh. What's the solution here? Are we just going to be with these two for a little bit, or are we going to come back after a time and... Yeah, here we go. The consequences of our actions. Kaji? Well, he seems in highish spirits. She's still alive. Okay. No. No, the scumbag. No way. No, you gotta go there and get him. Huh. Maybe she wants the Mushi to eat that memory. Oh, until she just collapsed? Well, she's having a rough go. Oh. Sleep. Concerning. I mean, she's single and ready to mingle. She's got to get out on the town. Pardon? What is happening? Bye. Okay. What do I? You did? For days on end? So you forgot why we were out here, or? And then, yeah, little lie. We haven't eaten for days. Interesting. It's an interesting one as to how to feel about it. Yeah, because, like, she's none the wiser. Oh, interesting. I wonder what that implies, too. Because if she's still doing all these things, it almost implies that it's still inside her, but then what escaped there before? I guess that's the shadow escaping, the reproduction copy or whatever. Yeah, same as normal. Interesting. I wonder that too. We fading out? Yeah. You know how I've talked about in the past, there's like feel good episodes of Mushishi, and then also I've talked in the past that there's feel fucking bad episodes of Mushishi? Like here. We're right there. We're right in the middle. This one's a real. I'm very interested to see where other people fall on it. If they think it's broadly pretty happy, broadly pretty sad, or somewhere in the middle like I do. It's that whole question, which is posed in a lot of fiction, of what is ultimately better, the truth or, blind happiness. And there's a lot of thematic significance to in the mother's depression when she's walking away, like she's almost starving herself, and then kind of the Mushi goes to town on a lot of her memories, and that almost helps the healing process. Like that's pretty deep. I liked that quite a bit. Lots to talk about there, for sure, for sure. Okay. And yeah, we'll jump right in there to episode 17. Let's go. And radio. Episode 17 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 38 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. Psych version, picture in picture in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1. Go. And we're back. Yeah, I'm still mulling over that first episode. Weird one to think about. I don't think I'm that far off the money with this whole kind of allegory for Alzheimer's, dementia. I always forget the difference there, which probably is ironic. Which one affects the memories there? Anyway, I'll look it up in post and then I'll know. But again, like, I thought it was going to go like a tragic turn, like those stories generally do. Instead, we go for a little bit more of a more interesting thing. I wasn't really vibing with the episode earlier. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I'm coming around on it. I think it's actually quite good. Very self-contained, though. Not a lot of movement at all. Just kind of two characters in Ginkgo just mulling it out, mulling it over. There is a time skip, but other than that, not much else really going on. It's not very wide spanning, I guess. You don't even get much of the community around. There was Old Man on the boat early, maybe. I'll be interested to see if we go down a similar path with this episode here. Ew. We're in somebody's fucking nasal cavity? Or it's just a cave. People who vanish like smoke are said to wander within, without their memories, without their souls. In the caves, you say? Because this episode was something about cocoons. There was a sound, a creak, a letter. Pardon? Egg! Break the world shell? Huh. Who's the letter from? Aya Tozawa. Aya? Aya? Somebody did mention previously that we would learn how Mushishis get contacted later in the show. Maybe this is it. That's a character design. And we were almost looking at something very egg-like there. The pickers of empty cocoons. Is that house real? What was that? Do you guys see that? I'll go back later. It's just like the front of a house without the rest of it. Unless my perspective was wrong. Okay, well that'll be Aya Tozawa, who's written that letter and is thusly sending it to Ginkgo. Huh? How the fuck did you do that? Also, again, as kind of indicated before, they have a previous relationship. Pardon? Spam? What is that? I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. Ito-chan. Holding on to the past, wanting her to move forward, maybe? Intriguing. Huh. Are they twins? Ooh. That's a cool metaphor. Ugh. Whatever you say. Some fucking hairy guy? Yes, ma'am. Yama Oji-san? Oji-sama. I probably don't remember him then. Pardon? What? What do you... Both of them can see the Uro-san. What the fuck? Well, I think I know which one goes. So decide amongst yourselves. Ooh, sacrifice. Well, I mean, do the parents get a say? I don't want to lose both my children. But what happens now, then? Once again, does that house have a back to it? It very well could not, and that's fine. I just want some confirmations. What, do we live in a tent? Hmm. Oh. I mean, I can read them myself. I don't. Please let me know. See, it's a metaphor for us being twins. What a weird episode. Still don't have a lot of clarity on what's happening. Ugh. I mean, I guess we saw this before. I mean, I'd be taken aback if I were you two. But I mean, I guess you've been working with a lot of the cocoons already. Indeed. I still don't know what you really mean by Uro-san. Like that little guy. Ugh. It's like hair. They're nomadic by nature. And now we know. So you get some Mushishi coming back through here. I don't want to expand my Uro passageway. You get half a letter or something. They're interesting to me. Well, something tragic happens here pretty soon. Conducive. Well, we set that up twice now. It's probably going to be something that happens. Because I think there's a mosquito in here. I thought that might have been a Uro-san itself. Yeah, but I know the end of the story. Don't close doors, don't open doors. Thereafter. I'm fucking hyper-focused on these doors, man. And that was the last I ever saw of her. Certainly feels that way. Certainly bodes poorly. Whoa. Well, fucking, she just got unlucky. Hang on. It's fucking easy as that. That's insane. They didn't even do anything wrong. They don't play fair. I don't know. I guess it's sort of the Mushi's job to play fair. We kept talking about doors. I didn't think it was a damn sheet. She's in the passageway, man. Haven't been successful in doing so yet. Not this episode, you're not. Yeah, but she's cool. I mean, very much so. Really? You sure? Maybe Ginkgo here knows how futile it is, and we're trying to show her. What the fuck? Yes, the tree had an allergic reaction, true. Oh. Very Ghibli. For sure, for sure. Ooh. This was from the start of the episode. The caves. I'm already really bad claustrophobic. I could not do this. Absolutely not. Ooh, cool shot. Very simple, but effective. I mean, it's pretty fucking endless, man. I don't. Absolutely not. No chance. Not at all. Yeah, she's gone, man. Like, impossibly slim. And I guess it took coming here to fully fathom that. It's, I mean, give me a day, maybe? I don't know. It's tough. But, I mean, can you fix my thing, though? Can you fix my, like, mobile phone? I'm not getting messages. Oh. Something's jumping around. Oh, absolutely not. Just a little fox friend. I do like this frame is mirrored from another different frame early in the episode. Here's my other... It's been 5 years. Are we sure she just didn't die if she was stuck in here? That being said, what are we doing now? Go on. Could not speak. I mean, fair enough. Then, how much later? How come they don't know each other? She lived? I just don't know if they met up again. I don't think they did. Is Aya still stuck up on the mountain, maybe? And can't come down? Weird. Very lucky. She got very lucky that she lived. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, another one that's a bit of a bummer. And a lot of it taking place in flashback, which is something that I'm growing to become a little bit tired of, if I'm honest. I mean, I know that this is an existing relationship between a character and Ginkgo, which makes it difficult, but I don't know. I don't know. It was good though. It was a good episode. I like the mechanics then, like the lore and the world building. Those are the things that I really love the episode for, I would say. And I hope that they come back. Their character designs are quite striking. I liked them. But you would imagine that that whole Ito reveal kind of puts a big bow on things and that we're kind of fine now, so potentially not. Either way, I liked it. I thought it was good. It's terrifying, though. Like, claustrophobic and dark and stuff. Yeah, I have something else to say about the idea of them being twins and one being on one side and one being on the other, but obviously I'll extrapolate on that in the upcoming segment. And yeah, we'll close out there for right now. It's about 7 o'clock. I should probably go do something about dinner, maybe. Anyway. I might come back later. I might come back tomorrow morning. We'll see. Either way, you'll see me shortly, and I'll talk about those episodes some more. Please look forward to it. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes in the book of Mushishi. I found these ones interesting from, I guess, a moral perspective. And again, assigning moralism to Mushi-Shi episodes is always a little bit fraught, considering that Mushi don't really act on a moral scale. They're just doing their thing. We say it repeatedly. They're not evil. They're not good. They're just simply being, and that's okay. But narratively, I like to look at episodes as kind of like, where did somebody stuff up to get the ending that they got? Because again, it still needs to follow narrative sense. Characters need to, not follow the rules and be punished, or characters need to, be a happy-go-lucky person and something good happened to them. That's just generally how these things work in stories, unless you're specifically trying to be subversive, which I think Mushishi more and more is falling into the latter camp. Like, here we have... Like, what is the sin of the mother character here to get the ending that she gets? And again, maybe the ending isn't even bad. Maybe we shouldn't even interpret it that way, but, like, they're just doing their thing. She was laying down right here under the tree and then got infected with this thing that started taking her memories. Is it just like disease in real life where it doesn't really grab onto any moral thing and is just a thing that happens and we need to deal with it? Yeah, it's very tragic in that way, I feel. And again, similarly with Aya and Ito, if those names are correct, from the next episode, Ito just fucks off, and we didn't do basically anything wrong. Like, we were, what? How old was she? Like 12, maybe? Of course I'm just going to pick up the sheet to see if my twin sister is under it. Like, I don't know. I didn't follow the rules specifically to the T, to the point where, I don't know, there wasn't any frivolity there that she treated it with to get the ending that she got. And again, I feel like in these episodes that are so very self-contained, I do like to look for overall stuff. I do like to look for links between the episodes and overall things that Mushishi as a show is trying to say. And that is definitely one. We're not going to ascribe normal narrative moralism to the show in the same way that it would be applied any other show, really. Like, hey, sometimes good characters get fucked over, sometimes evil guys win, but even then, it's not even like that. It's a little bit more just like things happening. And that's where we get into kind of the overall message of the show, which is to keep moving forward despite. Like, hey, these terrible things may happen to us, but at least we look forward and keep on living in the end, you know? Same thing with Aya, right? She's going to keep on moving beyond this. Even Ito on the other side. Keep on moving beyond this. These are just things that have happened. They've changed our circumstances, but nevertheless, we need to hold on to life. And keep on moving, keep on trucking. Again, that's majorly what I'm getting out of these two episodes, and they're kind of fascinating from that perspective. And again, we'll get more into the specifics of this episode kind of towards the end when we're talking about that stuff. And if you guys agree with me that this is kind of a pretty squarely in the middle, happy, sad ending. Like, it's right. I don't know how to feel about it, and that's pretty fun too. I like that. Just taking a step out of the, overall message, macro stuff that I have been talking about, more to the minor. These episodes were particularly on the slow side, I thought. They were pretty much just Ginkgo and one or two other characters and not much else. And I think in the pacing department, the second episode in particular, it being mostly flashback, it didn't do it any favors. Again, Mushishi as a show, it isn't like overall minute to minute super exciting all the time, but just these two episodes in particular stuck out as a little bit on the slower side, but it's fine. Again, the intrigue and mystery and the messages and stuff more than make up for it in my view, I feel. Radio opening scene time, we have the mother character here whose name is escaping me at the moment, which is pretty bad. I'll get it in a second. She's just resting under the tree, and we see a shadowy Mushi enter her head via the ear. That's not very cool. And again, it's definitely like the piece of the puzzle that we, the audience, know that they don't. There's probably something to be said about the name of Sunrise Serpent as well for the episode. Again, because this Mushi eats away at your memories and doesn't really even let you sleep either. There's that insomnia element to it. Again, Mushishi as a show is so much about, balance and cycles, and night and day definitely comes into that. So it kind of creating like no time to rest and like increasing that stress, normally you would decompress when you sleep and that kind of thing. Just definitely very pronounced and in theming with the rest of the show, I would say. Backgrounds are gorgeous though, 100%. And I like how we use this one for contrast later as well. As a show, we do this quite a bit. I'm reminded of, remember the Rainbow episode? There was another just kind of passerby that was listening to our story when he was telling us about the rainbows. similar vibes here. Just a nice, like, normal bloke type character to balance us off against, right? And, you know, give us a bit of perspective to start. So this was interesting to me too. So Ginkgo here quotes Spring Dawn by Meng Hao Ren, right? Does that imply that literature from our world is also present in the Mushishi universe? Because that's a weird kind of world building thing that I kind of enjoy. This could be our world, is my point. The quotes from this guy as well are also a little bit ironic in the context of the episode. Like, he's talking about his wife that's very forgetful and whatnot, right? And if you're not careful, she might even forget you. Actually, that might be a good thing. Kind of like, ho ho ho, that's like funny, and like, oh, that damn wife. In reality, it's by the end of the episode, that same sentiment is soul-crushingly sad. Again, she actively tries to forget her husband because he essentially cheated and he's a bit of a scumbag. Like, it's just all very sad. Yeah, this is one you notice on the rewatch, I feel. This was part of the episode that confused me as well. Ginkgo here, after hearing about the wife's forgetfulness here, says, hey, is she sleeping okay as well? And this guy's like, yeah, fine. Why do you ask? That would imply that Ginkgo already suspects that a Mushi may be involved, or a particularly dangerous Mushi is impacting sleep. Again, that's our lead-in for the child character here. God, I should get some character names. Hang on. Kaji. Kaji is the kid's name. Kaji and Seiyo. Where was I? God. It implies that Ginkgo would immediately know what Mushi it is if presented with a similar situation again, which he is in the episode, but he doesn't immediately go to that Mushi. I guess he wants to really confirm things before just going with that suspicion. I just thought that kind of stood out as a little bit out of place in the episode. Once again, the stuff with reflections and water in the show is very pronounced and quite beautiful. The flower petals from that tree on that water, right on that precipice between both sides is quite pronounced. It's very good. This first interaction with the mother kind of painted the episode in a little bit more of a jokey light than it eventually ends up in. Again, we play it for hijinks early. She doesn't know what a crab is and is all up on like the furniture trying to, you know, figure it all out. Like, it's meant to be funny. There's a mismatch of expectations there. It made me chuckle. And again, I immediately said, normally with a I'm starting to forget things story, it's all very sad and tragic. The sad and tragic will get there eventually. You don't worry about that. Mushi-Shi Episodes structurally will normally take on something of a mystery show's structure, or, you know, like an episodic, like whodunit type job, something akin to that, whereby a lot of the early part of the episode will be establishing the facts of the case. In this one, we use flashbacks to show how Sayo's memory has faded over time, just forgetting her favorite snacks, forgetting, you know, about the crabs and the whatnot, the kimonos that she doesn't wear, and again, that's that important piece of connective tissue there. Hey, the ones I don't wear, among the kimonos she rarely wore, she only forgot the ones with prints. So I guess I'm only forgetting the ones that have a tangible quality to them, right? Even though I cherish this and I've kept it for a long time and it's very pretty, I don't use it every day, and it has something to forget about it, maybe. That's pretty interesting. I guess, again, a you know, normal kind of flat-colored kimono, even if it is expensive, you would probably still just be cognizant of that because those memories haven't been touched, because I wear this kind of stuff every day. This is just the more expensive version of it. Yeah, I forget the ones with things to forget about them. And one here that's also very smart is sneezes, because a sneeze, it is something fundamental every day, of course, but it's also seasonal, so you would forget about it over time, especially since she's been infected with the thing. So, like, it's, you know, nobody in right mind would ever forget what a sneeze is like because everybody sneezed before. Like, it's a good example, is my point. Now, the most concerning one is starting to forget family members, up to and including a younger sister, even if they are from far away and I don't see them very often. I should probably still remember my siblings. Another crucial clue here is that she would normally take naps under the tree between chores. Us, the audience, have already seen that element, but it's another piece of Ginkgo putting together the evidence for what Mushi this is. She's kind of has insomnia, right? She's up all day and night on the loom doing her thing, where normally she would take naps under the tree. She, hasn't been doing that as much lately, and it might all be linked. The next important element for the plot is the husband. So the husband is a peddler who travels around throughout the year. He's only home very briefly, but he brings home the money when he does. Now, unbeknownst to us, he's been living a double life, hence why he probably doesn't bring home as much money as we thought he was. He's been lying. Very, very cool. More to the point, this worries Ginkgo, because it's did she forget about a husband that died or something? Which, again, was initially my worry as well, and no, that's not the case. Checking in with Kaji there was quite important with that. Again, he seems pretty chill about it. We're not going to fret either. It's a bit awkward here for Ginkgo. They have a little bit of a, family, spat or whatever you would say, little argument here at the table about Dad, right? So Dad hasn't been home in a while. You're setting food out for him, which is wasteful. He hasn't even ridden us once. Why doesn't he just get a job nearby? Again, I completely understand this from both sides. Again, from the mother's perspective, that's the man that she loves, right? Of course I'm going to, set out something for him. He's hungry on his journey. He's hungrier than us. I don't need the food. It's a nice little gesture that, hey, when he does come home, he's always got a place. He's always remembered here. But from Kaji's perspective, he hardly ever sees this guy. He's meant to be the father figure in his life. He's not present. Mum's losing her mind more and more every day, and I'm stuck here trying to fix it all myself, where it'd be great if I had somebody else to assist, or just another shoulder to lean on. That'd be lovely. In retrospect, again, that father on the other side, he gets off very, very easy when we learn what he's been doing. Anyway, I understand both sides of the argument as well. Once again, this episode is doing a great job at making two really likable characters that you just want to see good things happen to, and then again, teetering on whether they have a good ending or a bad ending, After Kaji goes to bed, the conversation turns a little bit more serious as we get Sayo's side of the story. Because it's tragic, right? Because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's forgotten, which is scary, right? That's what makes, Alzheimer's and that kind of stuff really scary in real life as well. They're none the wiser, but everybody else around you is so very worried. But it comes from a place of my love for him, right? For me to want to make myself better, to stop him worrying, right? So hey, if you come up with something, Ginkgo, I'm all ears. Please tell me. We put it squarely into view here with this line. If this continues, I'll forget my husband and my son, and then I'll forget that I've forgotten. So at that point, I've become an entirely different person. What else am I beyond my relation to the other people that I love? If I don't hold on to that at all, and I can't hold on to that for the foreseeable future, then what hope do I have left? It's essentially I'm dying, right? It's pretty close to it, right? Pairing that with the sun breaking through a really kind of smoky, cloudy day here is a great kind of visual for it. Hey, I'm still holding on to it a little bit, but it's getting more and more hazy as we continue. Another kind of sub thing going on in a lot of things is kind of light in the darkness, darkness in the light. A lot of yin and yang there. This is another example of it. I did like this connection here too, because all the way back to the first episode, kind of the symbols, or the characters for each of these specific things kind of having meaning, and, I don't know, because the kid was writing them down, and whatever he wrote down would also change into, Mushi, because each of these represents something else, right? That's the kid had that ability to do so. So again, looking at language and looking at the symbols and seeing if that attaches into the Mushi side of things is fascinating. I think that's still very cool. I got a little bit confused in the episode here because Ginkgo then comes up with a bit of an idea that things not in her immediacy are the things that she forgets of first. But again, what about the husband? The husband hasn't been here for yonks, but we still remember him fine. He's an integral part here. If that was the case, then he'd be the first one forgotten. Now, the part that I forgot to factor in, and the part that Ginkgo learns here, is that she's on the loom all night, basically just thinking about the husband. So that's the reason why, that memory persists, because she reinforces it every day, whilst we're, in bed asleep and stuff. Also, endlessly tragic. Again, what happens to the guy's a cheating asshole, and she's just up here every night just thinking about him still. That sucks. that sucks. And then again, we'll get into what the Mushi does for her, I guess, as well, by helping to get rid of that memory. I do like those lines there in the very middle as well. Normally, again, a warm summer's breeze, a very still night, like, you know, perfect conditions for sleep, just kind of a nice rhythmic sound of the loom as well. Perfect for sleeping. So why doesn't she sleep? Why doesn't she sleep the same as everybody else? I don't know, I thought it was very evocative and almost put me in a bit of a sleepy mood myself. Now, this is very creepy. So she's asleep right now, but immediately she wakes back up and she isn't in sync with her shadow at all. Very, very cool. Because her shadow is not her shadow at all. It is a duplicate, I guess you could say. The Mushi inside her is reproduced. There it goes, slithering away into the night. And this is the final piece of the puzzle that Ginkgo needs. He can finally confirm that this Mushi is a Kagedama, which we're translating here as silhouette spirit. So I guess Kage is like shadow there. Dama? Spirit? I don't know. I'm spitballing. Either way, it's a Mushi that eats away at memories, and I think the explanation here is quite astute. So Mushi are like animals, basically. They have places that they like to sit because they've been kind of trained over time, like by the rest of their ecosystem, to want to do this. Like, it's the same reason why, you know, birds fly in certain directions at certain times of year and whatnot. It's just this kind of intrinsic thing that they do. So I like this world building, right? It like sits in the shadows under trees because animals and humans like to do that, right? And if it feeds off of memories and reproduces from, it's essentially parasitic. It takes something from the host and then reproduces. Yeah, this would be a great spot to set up. Like, it's just smart, you know? Like, it makes sense. So yes, it eats away at the memories, divides, and then sends its clone out when the host is asleep for but a moment. So that's what Ginkgo was looking for. He was looking for the moment where she slept briefly, and then it was able to reproduce itself. Because that's the super confirmation that that's what we have. Now, this is something that kind of links the two episodes as well. Both of the cases in the both of them are incurable. There is nothing that we can do. In this one, right, like, sunlight is the Kagedama's only weakness. And if it lives inside your brain, we can't get sunlight in there. You're done, basically. It's just going to eat away at your memories until it's satisfied. In the next episode, of course, we have the, what are they? Uro highways or whatever the hell? It's the law. If you get lost in there, there's an, you know, infinitely small possibility that you will find what you're looking for, you know? This is when we get to the metaphor of the drawers, right? So, hey, like, your whole mind is a set of drawers full of memories. This thing, it's going to pick away at these drawers over and over again, just picking whichever one it really, you know, fancies at that time. But by nature, it's easier to, you know, get at the drawers that, I guess, the host isn't looking to protect all the time. So again, the ones that are far away and that I don't think about often, they're the memories to go first. I can keep specific memories under lock and key, almost, by continuing to reinforce them and think about them every day. Hence why I haven't forgotten my husband, even though I haven't seen him in yonks. The justification here is very interesting too. The Kagedama, as a parasite, doesn't want to attack memories that would be integral for their host to continue to live, right? The parasite here is almost smart enough to want to drain out as much stuff as possible before going for the really necessary stuff. Like, say if there was a memory for breathing or something, right? Obviously, if you're a parasite, you wouldn't attack that one first because then it's all over. It's kind of the card at the, you know, base of the card tower. You don't want to pull at it, right? Instead, you want to, you know, take off the ones at the very top, right? Just slowly but surely, without letting the whole thing just fall in on itself. Point being, hey, if this thing's going to continue to live as well, you can't get rid of the Kagedama. If you don't continue to create new memories all the time, right? If you don't leave the house every now and again and, you know, keep almost making food for this thing, then hey, it might start preying on these really important memories, and that's when you'll forget the things that you don't want to forget. So, you know, basically keep on living. That's the message here. Another part here that I probably didn't extrapolate upon as much as I wanted to is the moment by which, like, necessary fundamental memories of yours become detrimental, if that makes any sense. So the parasite, or the Mushi, is smart enough to understand which memories, like, help it to continue to live. That means it must also know what memories are hurting you to the point where you want to die. So, I don't think the Mushi is making any kind of moral choice here. It's just saying that if the mother here, if Sayo, continues to think about this thing and the husband, it will hurt so much that she will want to die. It will be detrimental. So therefore, that's why it feeds on that memory of the husband to, again, help that host to continue to live. Again, Mushi don't have moral fucking opinions on anything. They just do. So they saw that, hey, I'm gonna fucking die, or my host is gonna die if this thing continues to happen. That's really cool and fucking tragic. It implies that the husband was so important to the wife to the point of, hey, I need him to survive almost. Or if I don't have him and he's unfaithful and I know that, I cannot survive. Yeah, tragic, 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 tragic. The other line there is to continue to recall things that you don't want to forget, which is something that she continues to do, but very specifically doesn't do here in a second when she finds out the secret. And yeah, we're very soon on to that. Hey, because of that, we shouldn't just sit at home. We should go out there, make some new memories. Maybe let's go find father instead of waiting at home. Now, I don't really know what their financial situation's like. I guess they're very, self-sufficient. I don't know, eating a lot of rice and just kind of hanging out and doing the chores here each day. Why haven't they looked for the father in the part? Anyway, it matters not. And she's just so likable too. You hate to see it. You really do. Yeah, she's actually been thinking about just checking on the father for a very long time, but hadn't really had a reason to do so. And this is a great excuse to go actually see what's going on. There's also almost like a Schrodinger's husband element to it, if you wanted to say that. He could be, something terrible could have happened to him as well. And if I find that out, is it better to live in, isolation and not know the answer rather than opening that box and seeing the truth for real? We get a different version of that. I'm not sure she suspected cheating, but no, she probably suspected he died or something. Not in her wildest dreams would she imagine that this nice guy, quote unquote, would be a cheating asshole. I know, they're just all very endearing. Hey, she's very likable and a little bit ditzy, and he's earnest and stubborn, but loving as well. You just want to see good things happen, and good things do not. Maybe. I don't know. It's good in the end, maybe. It's hard to say. This is another episode with a time skip as well. I was very curious as to the structure of the episode when I got to about here and saw that they just went away for a while and the ginkgo was separate from them. I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? The answer is a time skip. So a year later, same spot, Kaji's still here. I'm reminded of previous episodes where we've had time skips and then ginkgos come back and shit has gone poorly. Namely, the episode immediately preceding this one. He leaves them up in the snow. After old mate goes unconscious, he just fucks off for a bit. He comes back, he's still unconscious. He shows up and they're already crying again is the point. In this one, we show up and, hey, Kanji's fine. We go and see Mom. Mom's fine. So what's the go? What happened? And then, yeah, we just plainly say it. Hey, we went and saw the father. He was living in, that city to the west with another family. Yeah, I know him. He lives in the house up the street. She's so nice. She doesn't deserve this, man. Come on now. There's the scumbag. Fuck you. Fucko. I hate you. Oh, yeah, love this too. Kaji here, his facial expression turns to anger before getting pulled away. Hey, no, I almost don't want you to go say something or do anything. I almost want to run away and forget about it completely and for us both to forget about it, she's just devastated, man. Oh. Anyway, this is where we get to the really interesting stuff that I think's going on. On a thematic level, she is now starving herself, right? She is single-mindedly just walking in one direction, not saying anything, eating nothing, drinking nothing, and eventually collapses before sleeping for a very, very long time. This ties into what she wants this Mushi to do as well. She has now let go, or is trying to let go of one of her most cherished memories, that being the husband, hey, that's a big old drawer that has a lot of reinforcement on it and a lot of memories about it, right? So, hey, I'm letting that one go. I'm almost waiting for this hungry Mushi, the same way that I'm hungry too, to come through and eat this thing. That's why, again, when it reproduces later on, the Mushi that comes out is so large. It's been feeding on such a large memory almost, you know. That's my interpretation of that scene anyway. Fascinating. Really, really, really cool. And again, talks to this really interesting... Again, okay. So Mushishi as a show, message-wise, has always been about moving on and moving forward, right? And moving forward despite. That's the important part, despite. So she is moving forward, but not with any of the baggage that comes with it. She is not learning from the experience. She is simply letting go of it. She is choosing to be pain-free rather than live with the pain and learn from it and grow from it, right? She is just letting go. So where does that fall on the spectrum of what Ginkgo would want to happen to somebody, right? I don't think he would advocate for somebody to cut off all their old self and completely move on to somebody new and forget things voluntarily. I think if he had his time again, he wouldn't, you know, have done the same things that he's done in the past where he, you know... Where the thing happened to him in the episode 12 where he forgot things and whatnot. Like, I don't think if he had his time again, he would have chose to do that. I feel like Ginkgo would want you to just continue and move on with these memories. But at least you're still moving on. This is what I mean. It's right in the middle of that scale, man. For sure, for sure. And then, yeah, I've done a lot of the explaining here already. She falls asleep, collapsed, sleeps for several days. In this time, that Mushi's going to town on those memories, man. Like, she has this extended period, right, where she's essentially vulnerable. She isn't reinforcing memories because she is asleep. Also, we must remember that in a momentary kind of micro-sleep, right, that's when it reproduces. Maybe that's why she's sleeping so long as well. It is reproducing a massive copy of itself. Another great metaphor here is this dilapidated house that they're just kind of crashing in. It's abandoned, and I don't know, it's a metaphor for how their family's kind of broken after what's happened as well, right? You know, something about a doorway being open too is quite intriguing, especially in kind of conversation with the next episode too. Like, we're almost opening the door for this Mushi, we're letting it in, we're letting it escape, we're doing, you know, we're not closing things off, we're letting him loose, you know? I think the implication was before that Kaji couldn't see the shadow because he can't see Mushi. So he just kind of feels something happening, even if he doesn't specifically notice it himself. Yeah, either way, big old serpent gone, and so is the memory of the husband. Mum wakes up, none the wiser, smile on her face. She reckons she had a really good sleep. No memory at all of why she is even here, and Kaji accepts it, right? I understand what's happened here. She's let go of that pain, and I have to let go too. Specifically, again, here, Kaji making the active decision to lean into the lie, right? To let her live in blissful ignorance rather than know the truth. Much like the sky itself here, I really feel like this is a moral gray area. I really want to know what people think, so please let me know. Comments are there. I want to know what the consensus is, maybe. We end here looking on the bright side of life, right? Even though she's lost most of her memories, and it continues to persist now, she's still forgetting things that she doesn't actively see every day. We're glass half full. Kaji's like, she still knows how to cook rice. She still knows me. She still knows this house. That's okay. We'll live with that. And again, it seems like we've opened something of a tea shop or something here as well. So she is experiencing new things every day. She hasn't forgotten foundational memories because she is going out there and putting herself out in the community. So once again, that's the feel-good part, right? She's having a great time. Blissful ignorance, though, you know? She still works the loom at night, however, just like always. But again, we associate that loom with the father. So now the tragedy then becomes, I'm doing the loom, and I don't really understand why. I used to understand why a little bit more, and now I just don't. Like, what's going on there? There's a piece missing, and she knows there's a piece missing. That's the feel bad. Feel good? Feel bad? I don't know. Like, she doesn't even understand why she's setting out the extra meal now, man. Don't know what to think. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good episode of Rewatch, man. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Once I understood, you know, completely what it was going for from the start. That was wonderful. Oh yeah, was I crazy, or did the visuals in the opening change somewhat? I don't know, some of you Mushishi freaks can maybe talk about it. Either way, next episode, opening piece of narration here talks about myriad people getting lost in caves. Many caves, infinite some may say, existed within our world. In these caves, they lose their memories, they lose their souls, endlessly wandering. It's kind of what ends up happening to Ito. She loses her memories is the implication by the very end, but once again, she's moving forward. So again, just a nice piece of kind of a, opening narration to set us up, which will make more sense by the end of the episode. Then I mentioned that the backgrounds were gorgeous because they are, particularly up in the mountains here, we get very, very pretty. So, world building time. Let me explain what I understand is going on. So there's this person, right? And they're up on the mountain. They're the mountain person. And they look for cocoons. Specifically, cocoons that have two cocoons inside of them that have intertwined. There's a lot of twin symbolism tied into this as well, which obviously comes through with our characters of Aya and Ito. But hey, twins have always been said to have some kind of connection that, even if they're very far apart, they almost think the same, and there's a bit of mysticism about twins. We're kind of bringing that forth here a little bit more too, right? Like, hey, inside this cocoon, there was two. The same way that inside the womb, there was two. However far apart, there's always a path, a Mushi-esque path, right, for these Uro. We're now going to use those paths for communication, right? We've got a weird, almost faux instant messaging system through the use of Mushi. And much like those old phones where you used to have an operator who would connect thing to make sure that the right person's getting the right message, we now have that phone operator equivalent up there on the mountain. Like, hey, Mushishi gets half of this one whilst I get half of this one. So I get communication in and then send communication out to him. It explains what I would consider a plot hole as it stands right now, which was, hey, how is Ginkgo getting contacted at all if he's nomadic? This is how. He essentially has a phone. Essentially. Again, endlessly creative, using, the kind of facts and, mysticism of the world to get across something that was necessary to think about. It's just A1 world building, 100%. And that also creates the premise for the episode. Ginkgo is having problems with his telephone and needs to go to the telephone company to figure out what the hell's going on. Like, he's even getting the wrong mail here specifically. This is to Aya Tozawa, which gives him the clue to, hey, maybe I should go see Aya and think about what's going on. I do like the implication here as well. This is somebody that he has liaised with previously because he recognizes the name of Aya Tozawa. Like, hey, I know this person's almost an integral part of, like, the profession, and they're like a professional, like, colleague, like somebody to, like, network with that I've seen before at events. Like, that's almost the vibe, right? I don't know, she feels similar to what's his name? Oh my god, the other guy. The guy that's been in the show a couple of times. Oh my god, bad with names today. Adashino, of course. I wanted to say Adatara, but that's the other show. Right off the bat, she has a really striking character design. I think it's the eyes. Good stuff. Really, really good. I hope to see her again. But now, from the conclusion of the episode, I don't think that we will, because the whole Ito thing has almost been, like, solved, even if we don't know it has. Now, am I an insane person? Does this not look like the house should run this way? Right? Is this some Mushi bullshit? Is this actually a house that doesn't exist and is actually part Mushi world? It almost exists on the precipice and that's why we can't see it. Is that it? Or am I an insane person? It's a perspective thing and the house is actually fucking running that way, so we wouldn't see it. But then why would it face this way? Yeah, it's wigging me out. I don't like it. So yes, over time, Ginkgo has made his way up the mountain to see Aya. It's time to replace his Uro-san. Again, this is all just nonsense early in the episode, but now it's making perfect sense. It's good. So that's the other explanation. Okay, so that's why Ginkgo gets messages from Aya. It said like onegai on it or something. It said like please. Those are Uros that Aya is using that aren't being used anymore to almost like just put something out there. Potentially Ito may see it, potentially if she's still in the tunnels somewhere. Like, that is mega giga cope. And again, we try to let her know that and try to get her to move on by the very end. Like, Ginkgo here is worried. Like, hey, if your thoughts are always consumed by somebody who's gone, like they're not coming back, then you'll never move on and you'll always be almost lesser. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's a hard thing to explain, especially to somebody as close to Aya as Ito. Ooh, the old man won't be able to rest in peace if we don't do this either. Yeah, he passed away. That's no good. And yeah, now you're the chief. Yeah, it's weird. So Ito, I think she can't speak and she's lost her memories by the very end too, so probably not great. Again, even if she is still living somewhere, you've almost still lost Ito. Like, that's just somebody that looks like you. Now, it's not her anymore, considering she's lost that part of herself. She's lost that soul. And once again, Ginkgo's very keen to say, hey, it's fate. Leave it at that. Just move on. From here, structurally, the episode then turns into mostly flashback. The story told is interesting. It bends in all the right spots. The only trouble is I know where it ends. I know that Ito's lost somewhere. I think the main drive of the narrative then becomes the world building and learning about it and whatever the hell's going on, because I know that these twins are going to get separated. Like, that's no good. We do some really nice stuff with symmetry, though. Like, they're inseparable, right? Like, the severing of this, and almost the severing between the Mushi world and our own, is very pronounced considering how close they are. One of the first scenes here is the father of them also advising not to look at the empty cocoons. Like, hey, there's bad things inside of those, you don't want to look at it. Almost hoping that they don't have the ability to see whatever is inside. Like, it's very interesting. I love the fucking whole meaning behind it. Like, empty cocoons. Like, you think it's like something pointless where it's, like, how did that exist? It's a Mushi thing. And again, we're attaching it into bugs in a cool way too. Lovely. So it's customary in the community to check all people to see if they have the ability to see Mushi, which is what we're doing here. Both of these two do have that ability, which bodes poorly. They're perfect candidates to replace the mountain guy for when he passes away. He's an old fella. We need the next in line. It's going to be one of you two. Oh, it's almost passed down through the Tozawa family as well. So it's almost like the family business that they're getting into too. That's kind of cool. Either way here, hey, when you guys turn 10, I'm going to come get one of you. So, hey, like, pick one, basically. I don't know. It sucks. But obviously they're twins. They're inseparable. Which makes, again, what happens at the end of the episode all the more tragic. Hey, pick one. Pick one of these guys to go. We can't pick one. Both are going up. Do the parents get a say? Those are my kids. I don't know. I guess they just accept it as part of life in this family, in this village, in this part of the world. Oh yeah, I spent a long time trying to think who the mountain guy reminds me of as well. He reminds me of the other different mountain guy. Remember the Mountain Guardian episode? That guy. He reminds me very, very similar. The Mushishi that was on the mountain with the boar and the snake and the whatnot. I have no idea if they actually got kids to do the VA work here for these kids, but it's really good acting. Really believable kid voices if they are indeed children. I mean, they're just building up the sadness and the pain. And once again, I know the ending already. Like, I feel like that's almost the episode's shortfall, is the way at which we've told the story. That, hey, these twins are going to be separated eventually, and we know that. It just doesn't make any of this believable and almost, like, too tragic. Hey, the old guy up there, he must be so lonely by himself, right? At least with you two up there being together will probably ease that same loneliness, right? Aya must be impossibly lonely and stuck in this job. Like, what is she now? Like, fucking 15, 16 or something? She's just like, fucking, I'm gonna be here forever, by myself, just doing my thing. That's no fun. I don't know, man. At least she entertains herself with the stories of Mushishi that do roll through. One of the first things we advise to do here is to leave doors half open. Never fully close doors. If there are Uro-san around, we'll be swallowed up. We learn a little bit more about the master himself here, where, hey, I've been here a long time, all very lonely by myself, just abiding by the rules and whatnot. Haven't gotten eaten up yet. Have, left doors half a jar the entire time, but it's pretty fucking lonely. The only, people I talk to are the occasional Mushishi, excuse me. I always get those two. Yeah, I probably say the wrong thing more than I realize. Either way, this guy here seems pretty chill. Another one of, symmetrical frames too, which is fun. Hey, here's some stories that I've written down from previous Mushishi. Potentially that's something you guys would want to read. Again, you guys are kids. I don't know, entertain yourselves, go play, that kind of thing. We note here that there are more empty cocoons up on the mountains as well, and the master here advises us to find, big, the kind of dual empty ones that have 2 cocoons inside, because I can't do my work without them. There's some really cool process stuff here as well, like figuring out how all this works and how it's supposed to happen. Again, these kind of cocoons hanging down from the ceiling, like almost like telephone lines or something, really where the episode super succeeds for me is that portion, is the process of it all. So then Uro goes in one side of the cocoon that we've almost weaved into 2 cocoons. Like, hey, we took the big one, made 2 small ones, put him in one side, he can get from one side to the other. He takes our fucking mail with him. He's sick. Oh yeah, both the girls have experience with weaving. We saw that early in the episode too. So that's almost like they've been training for that unconsciously since we first learned that they had the power too. Like, hey, you guys get really good at weaving because you guys will need it eventually. And this is almost like our test, like, email that we're going to send. Sun fallen ill, vomiting day and night, weakening day by day, cannot lift a spoon. Sounds pretty urgent. It's almost like a doctor, Urgently requesting a Mushishi. Hey, we're going to send this message to somebody. And again, it's almost like a tiered system of like, hey, you've gone recently. I'm going to send this to somebody that I haven't sent one to recently. So everybody's always in practice. Everybody's always going. Fun, really fun. Like, whose turn was it next? There's a hierarchy here. I love that. We're also specifically here explaining what has happened to Ginkgo and why his isn't working anymore. As the Uro moves back and forth between the passageway between the 2 cocoons, it widens it and widens it. Eventually, it widens it to the point where it's intersecting with other passageways. Therefore, it's easier for a letter to get ripped, half of it to go to somewhere where it doesn't belong, half of it to go to somewhere where it does belong. Not good. We saw how kind of tricky and intertwined the tunnels were there. That's the reason why it, is the case. I love this too, that we've like packaged them up, ready to go. We're going to hand that to the next like Mushishi that rolls through. Once again, we reiterate here that despite being very interesting, the Uro are extremely dangerous. This place is conducive to them. If we're ever in an enclosed space with an Uro, it will take us along with it into the tunnels. Who knows where it's going to take? Like, it'll just disappear from our world into a different world, basically. Like, it'll just spirit us away. Hey, that's why we mustn't ever close a door. That's why we mustn't ever be alone in an enclosed space with an Uro. That's what happens under the sheet here in but a brief moment. In the episodes themselves of Mushishi, we do get a little bit formulaic with this stuff sometimes, where it's like, hey, initial concept and warning is explained at about the midpoint in the episode. We explained it once again. Hey, make sure you don't do this thing. And then we do it, and then the consequences of that. Like, it's a little bit, like once you suggest something will happen, it'll probably end up happening. I don't know. I guess that happens in most fiction. It's just easier to see in Mushishi, where you're starting a new story each and every episode. And yeah, I think we do a good job here of early in the episode reinforcing the relationship between the 2, as well as, again, Aya in, 5 years' time, still being torn up about it. Like, where it really fucking builds upon and makes this moment really tragic. I like that. I felt significant in the moment, and I felt devastated after what happened. Like, just good writing. Like, you made me invested. Good job. Great. Good stuff. But by that same token, it was also part of me was hard to get invested as well, because I knew what was going to happen. So it's a give and take there, I think. The abruptness of it, I feel, is the real tragedy. Like, they were just going to play, they just finished their chores. It was a day like any other. The wind was blowing through, once again, a blinding light outside. Me existing on the precipice between the shade of inside and the light outside. A sheet just happened to blow on me, and an Uro just happened to be there as well. I did nothing wrong. I didn't forget the rules. I didn't I don't know. I guess I wasn't scared enough, but it's tough, man. Like, I don't know. Normally when, maybe not between this episode and the last, but normally when bad things happen to characters, it was because they did not heed warnings, or we did not fully understand. This one, we did heed warnings, we did fully understand, we were just kids. We couldn't have thought that the fucking sheet was going to be a passageway or whatever, the Uro was going to be there. I know, it's tough. It's real tough. I don't know, maybe something about sleeping on the job. But she's like fucking 10, man. So yeah, Ito under the sheet with the Uro. We see it there. Shimas tries to say don't lift it off right there at that second too. And then she's gone. Bye. See you later. Instantaneous tragedy. No good. No good at all. And that practically puts us where we are now, right? This guy eventually passes away, warns that there's no way to save her, there's no way to find her again, she's forever lost. Like, he's almost just as cut up about it too. He felt a lot of responsibility for the two of them, and he's lost one of them already. Like, that's, I don't know, I'd be cut up too. Yeah, it sucks, man. It really sucks. So that brings us to now. We're still vowing to bring her back. But, hey, that lets us know we need to do a little lesson here. Let's show Aya here how impossible that really is. And this is where Ginkgo comes in. Once again, Ginkgo's thing about moving forward and moving on, despite what pain we have. He's like, hey, you're really still caught up on this. It has been 5 years. Hey, you're not eating well. You're not looking after yourself. You seem perpetually depressed about this even still. We need to get you to understand, to get you to move on a little bit more and continue to see the world. There's no use continuing to dwell in the past like that, because Ito herself, as we see in the end of the episode, has moved forward as well. But seeing is believing. We need to show Aya the Uro passageway herself. Hey, it's time to go up to the mountains to find a fucking allergic cocoon tree gall thing that we then go through, which is another way into the passageways. I don't pretend to understand it, but it's like a pregnant tree almost. I don't know, it's fucking weird. Even if I don't really understand the mechanics of this part, once again, I do think it's thematically interesting. Once again, it's meant to be a womb, right? It's meant to be like, hey, this is where Aya and Ito were connected at one point, right? Like, we were together at this point, but now we're impossibly separate from each other, you know? Like, hey, that's really fucking cool. I like that. Yeah, we're our own kind of passageway between ourselves almost, you know? We're very intrinsically linked in with the Uro. It's also gross, though, yeah. And we also noticeably see a chain already kind of in it. Like, hey, a kind of Mushishi has gone in the past and hasn't come back out. That's kind of scary. It's also a great link for the episode because this is what we saw in the intro. Hey, we're now in the passageway. And essentially what we do here is just show her how impossible it really is. This made me really claustrophobic. Being lost in caves is basically my biggest fear of all. I do not like it here. You are very, very persuasive, Ginkgo. I won't ever think about the Uro passageways again. Do a wonderful job showing scale here with the camera, as well as some first-person stuff here, just showing how terrifying it is, like just moving forward into impossible darkness. There was a Mushishi in the past that lost his memories and is probably still down here. Like, Mushishi used to use these as shortcuts, but I don't dabble in that stuff because it's fucking scary. I don't know, this is basically the worst place you could ever be. It sucks. It's just tragic. Aya, she's like shaking, but she's still thinking about Ito. Again, some people think that at the end of this chain they'll be outside, but that's no guarantee. Even if you do see another side from here, you sometimes can't pass through. Like, it's all just fucked. There's an infinite number of caverns like this one. There's an infinite number of Uro who have been making these things since time fucking existed. It is impossible to find your sister. I'm sorry. And yeah, she's finally facing that fact. It sucks, but at least we've kind of pulled that band-aid off, and now she can actually understand. Close that hole in your heart, otherwise you may never be able to get out yourself. This space as well almost like represents like depression and like continuing to dwell on those past things. You yourself will get lost there too. Like, hey, that's why we need to keep moving towards the light, keep moving on. there's something there. Pretty cool metaphorically too. So I compared this frame here and finding the cocoon up here with a frame early in the episode. I liked it quite a bit because it was on separate sides of the frame. So like it's almost mirroring the start of the episode and the end of the episode. Let me just find it. So where were we? 2022. If we go back here, when we first see her, that's the equivalent shot I'm talking about. It's like over this side, over that side. We've kind of moved from one side to the other through the course of the events of the episode. Just really cool. Then she gets tricked by a fox playing in the grass, but, you know, it'll take some time, but I am moving on still. Now, how do we feel about the episode if we ended it right here? Do you think it's stronger or weaker? I don't know. I don't know if I'd like knowing what happened to Ito. I kind of like it being, you know, a little bit up in the air still. Like, there's something about knowing that she might be out there or she might just be dead in the caverns that is kind of poetic. But still, I must say that I really enjoyed the closure from a story perspective. Like, it was, you know, it satisfied me. But I don't know how to feel about it. Once again, let me know. I will say it is a good, like, piece of comedy almost at the end of the episode, which has been pretty much a downer the entire time. Just a little girl coming out of one side of a cocoon and this lady freaking out. That's pretty funny. A girl emerged from the cocoon. She was about 10, but could not speak. Later, with the aid of the letter she had, she was returned to her home village. So, why would she have a letter? That letter wouldn't be especially from her home village because she can't tell you her home village because she can't speak, right? And she's forgotten it, and her memories may be lost. So her home village is now a different village. It's wherever the letter came from. So she's out there somewhere living her life, moving on, doing her own thing, none the wiser without the memories of anything. I think that's what we're going for. I guess it's just the confirmation that, hey, in the same way that Aya needs to move on from, you know, Ito because she's got a new life now with new memories and stuff, Ito has done as well. Like, again, by no choice of her own, she probably had the easy route of having those memories taken from her, but still, we're both moving on. We're twins, we're separate, we're on different parts of the fucking globe, but still, we're both living. We're both living ahead, and that's all it's about. And yeah, with that, end of the episode. Another really good one. Both of those episodes really grew for me upon the rewatch. I guess when you're watching it 2 times speed, once again, the pacing doesn't really get to you as much. And again, I was in a bit of I was very worked up yesterday, and I'm a bit better now, so that's good. Good show, really good show. Once again, Patreon if you want to be that kind of 1 week ahead. Like the video, subscribe. Looking forward to more Mushishi next weekend as well. I'll see you then. Bye. Later. See ya.